Heritage Auctions recently offered several coins from the collection of renowned error coin specialist, collector, and dealer Don Bonser. Let's take a look at some of the more interesting ones of these, shall we? I just love errors like this. It may not always be the most valuable, but I mean, come on, look at how amazing this looks. This 1975 Lincoln cent was unmistakably double struck, with the second striking taking place 75% off center at almost a 90-degree angle. Here, the first strike was perfectly normal, but then the coin failed to fully eject from the coining press before the second striking took place, and voila, what we have is this not quite, but almost Mickey Mouse ear effect. Graded by PCGS as MS63 brown, it was sold at auction for $139. And what if the first striking of that coin never took place? Well, in that case, we would have something that looks a little like this. Only here, the planchet was never actually seated properly at all, and the coin was struck completely 75% off center. But through a sheer fluke of luck, we can see on the obverse that this was a 1969 mint coin. Graded by PCGS as MS63 red-brown, it sold at auction for $109. There is so much that can potentially go wrong when creating coins, and understanding the minting process, in my opinion, is crucial to correctly identifying error coins and varieties alike. Even so, it is not entirely clear if the cracked planchet on this 1921 Morgan dollar happened before, during, or after the minting process, but it does seem more than likely that the planchet was already flawed when the coin was struck. Although, from its condition, it seems also equally likely that this coin spent at least some time in circulation. Graded by PCGS as AU53, it managed to raise $186 at auction. The next coin is then a Lincoln penny from 1977 that suffered a massive die break on the obverse die, right around the 10 to 11 o'clock mark. The cud now completely obscuring the word God and leaving only "We Trust" legible. The corresponding point on the reverse, right at the word 1 of 1 cent, is very poorly defined as a result of not being able to fully strike up due to the die breakage on the opposing die. This great little error coin was authenticated by PCGS as MS62 brown and sold at auction for $690. And now for something you don't really get to see very often: clash marks on a silver eagle. Specifically, on the 30th anniversary 2016 silver eagle, clash marks can be seen on both sides of the coin, but, and by far, the best of these is on the obverse, where complete sections of the reverse eagle design, specifically the wings, can be seen on the fields surrounding Lady Liberty. Some of the folds and patterns on Liberty's dress can then consequently also be seen behind the eagle, but again, this is relatively minor compared to the obverse. Graded by PCGS as MS69, this coin achieved a price at auction of $1,110. Now, on first glance, you might be forgiven for thinking that this 1977 Jefferson nickel looks relatively normal, until you look closer and notice that the coin is not perfectly round, and portions of the legend is simply missing. Then you realize that this is a proof nickel struck on a dime planchet, accounting for why some of the letters around the edge was forced off flan, due to the smaller size of the dime. Graded by NGC as Proof 67 Cameo, the first of these wrong planchet errors to be featured on this list, was sold for an equally uneven $1,051.20. And now for a simply wonderful proof Kennedy half-dollar coin, dated 1973 from the San Francisco Mint. This eye-catching error was clearly broad-struck, meaning that the dies struck the coining blank without the collar die engaging. Furthermore, the strike itself was then off-center and a massive stress crack forming towards the top, extending right through the top of Kennedy's head. Graded by NGC as Proof 68 Cameo, this coin sold at auction for $2,640. A Lincoln cent is next up, but not a copper coin as we might expect from the 1970 dated piece. Instead, this example was struck at San Francisco on a Proof Clad dime planchet. The strike is excellent in every regard, and from the letters of 1 cent, you can clearly see that at least 3 impressions were made. Because the dime planchet is ever slightly smaller than the penny, the coin is well centered, but some weakness and poorly defined features appear around the rim. Overall, an interesting wrong planchet error graded by NGC as Proof 66 Cameo that sold at auction for $2,640. Some fractional gold is up for discussion next. This 1855 octagonal gold dollar was a private gold rush issue, so not subject to the same strict quality assurance from a government minting facility. However, there's no need to adjust your screen or your glasses, as this coin was just very boldly double struck, especially on the reverse. Although, to be fair, it is a bit disorienting having to stare at it for a while. Graded by PCGS as MS61, it sold at auction for $2,760. Then we have an error on an Eisenhower dollar coin, a Proof 1973 S example that was clearly broad struck. The strike is centered perfectly though, and the distinct lack of a collar die when it was being minted caused the metal to flow or squeeze out and expand the overall diameter of the coin far beyond what it normally should be. There's also evidence of multiple strikes taking place, but for a proof coin of this era, and especially the size, that is pretty much SOP, so I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. A small strike-through error on the reverse, however, is very much not normal. Graded by NGC as Proof 69 Ultra Cameo, this Clad dollar coin sold at auction for $3,003.60. While certainly one of the most visually appealing coins to be featured is this 1972 Roosevelt dime example. The coin was double struck, the effects of which can now wonderfully be detected on the lettering, resembling strong doubling, in fact, in some places, with both sides struck off-center somehow without the collar die engaging. Based off of what we can see here, I suspect that it was missing altogether. The result is a planchet that is expanded under the pressure of the dies, to the extent that despite it being off-center, none of the legends around the rim run off planchet at all, crowned then by 2 stretch cracks, a fantastic error coin that was graded by NGC as Proof 67 Star and secured a closing price at auction of $3,600. Subscribe to WNN and activate notifications with the bell icon so you'll know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, stay safe, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.